Good morning. It's market day. Rosie's trapped in the mess. The boys are all at my mom's spending the night, and Rosie stayed with us for the night and is going to my mother-in-law's this morning. It's dark in here. It is currently 6:20, which is about 5 minutes later than I was hoping to be out the door, but this is still pretty dang good for us. I hope we haven't forgotten anything. Okay, we have a little bit more light now. It is 10 after 7. We're gonna be there in about 30 more minutes. Is that right?
I think so.
I have finished another Charlie kitten in the car. This is the first one I've done with the embroidered eyes. I am so sick of trying to do the, oh dear. I think I should be up one more stitch on the side. Anyway, I'm so tired of doing the snap-in eyes that are impossible to get in. Anyway, I got that Charlie kitten done, although I might have to redo the eyeballs because that one stitch difference is going to drive me nuts. I also need to work on a Bulbasaur seed pod to sew to the top because I never did that the other day. And I did bring more of this green to put together some Grinches. I have almost all my signs done. I do need to make one once we get there for like my Christmas plushies, Grinch, Rudolph, the little penguins. I need to make a little sign for that. And I need to tag a couple more things, but most of that stuff I got done last night. So we should be good. We won't know where our spot is till we get there, and I'm a little nervous, but I think we'll get the same spot as we did last year, which is in the foyer of the middle school. I don't even think I've talked about the event yet, but it was a $45 fee to get in. This is their 46th year of doing this, I believe. So it's a very well-established event. I made over $1,000 last year at this event, so that is my goal again. Even though I hate to make big goals like that, because then if I don't make them, I'll be disappointed even if I have a good market day. So, but I can't lie and say that's not in my head to hit at least 1,000. The event, when does the event end? It's 9 to 3 or 9 to 4, I don't remember. But last year it really slowed down like around 1 or 2. It is not a juried event, so there will be other crochet booths there. It'll be fun to get coffee and breakfast also, which I've had neither of. I'm excited because I have new things this time. I never have had the Bowl Buddies. I've never had the mystery boxes. I've never had the adoption certificates. So that's fun for me too. And it's also fun that I didn't forget my square reader. Okay, is there anything else? I keep cutting off my head. Sorry. Oh, I'm wearing festive, overalls. Knit Christmas overalls. Because it's a Christmas market.
Wearing a cheap city and long black pants.
Thanks, Boo. Thanks for that fit check. Good morning, guys. We are set up and ready to go at the market, so let me show you our booth. don't think will happen at your market. Apparently the popcorn people have set off the fire alarm. Hey guys, it's time for a check-in. It's about 1:30 and it is slowed way down, which is the same as last year. The busyness happens about 10 o'clock to noon is like crazy busy, and then it slows down a ton. So I have some time to check in. Kind of had a like massive panic at the beginning of the day because my square reader was malfunctioning. It was turning on, but it would not connect to my phone. And so I thought we were going to be functioning without a square reader today, which is okay because there's a ton of people that pay with cash. That's been the main payment method, but yeah, I was sweating. But Jake did a factory reset on the square reader and it was working, so I have not lost sales due to that. What else? Oh, the popcorn machine, like in the hallway, set off the smoke alarm 2 times, but we're doing okay. I am not selling near as many plushies as last year, and I think it's because I've heard, so this is in a high school and a middle school. We're in the middle school, which is the less busy, I think, of the 2 schools. And I've heard probably 4 or 5 crochet booths in the high school. So by the time they get here, they've probably already passed several crochet booths. So I think that's taken away some of my sales, but I'm still having a good market. This has been a successful market. So let me show you the booth. I have sold one large item. It was the Puny Human Crafts bunny. I sold to the sweetest little boy. That sold. I have not sold, no, I take that back. I sold one of Chanel's Christmas penguin, Chanel's Crochet's Christmas penguins. Nothing else is sold in here. A lot of people have picked up and liked the Grinch, but no one has bought the Grinch. So yeah, Christmas items, again, haven't sold that much. I have sold quite a few of these. I've had to refill in space here. Sold a few mystery boxes, a few little mice or possums. This has by far been the best part of my whole stand, is my little farm section. It has cleared out a lot since the start of the market. This has been like virtually untouched. Not virtually, I mean, there's been a couple things, but like my Andy Reid snowman, I sold 3 in 30 minutes last year. Have not sold one. Have not sold like mini possums, some kittens, some Pokemon, or Teenymon, or Chonkymon, or whatever you want to call them. This is another area. Last year, I totally sold out of jellyfish. This year, I still have 5. So, take that as you will. This is the check-in. By the way, I've gotten maybe just as many comments on my outfit as I have my plushies. Do you guys want to see this? Here is my super festive outfit. I think I've had like 5 to 10 comments on my overalls. I got them at Target probably 5 years ago, and I tried to wear them as much as possible once it's seasonally appropriate. So anyway, that's also been funny. I'm checking in again because I'm going to take you guys through the middle school gymnasium. So this isn't even half of the whole thing. I haven't even walked through here yet. We have about 2 hours left and it's slowed way down. So I'm gonna take you through the gym. Checking in again to say I just finished a Bulbasaur. I'd had everything made with the bowl, so I just got this done to put out with my other teeny mon. But the embroidered eyes have definitely been favored above the safety eyes. Here's one last look at the booth. My shark sold. I just finally sold a few little things here. I ended up selling everything in this bin, so I turned it upright and stuck my mushroom in there. Moved my chickens on top. Here's the sports themed. Possums, kitties. A lot of this looks pretty much identical to my last time I showed you. We are getting ready to pack up and head home. My sign's a little crooked. There's the hubby doing the grunt labor. This is how we are celebrating a market that was successful. Yes. All right, guys. Morning attire. It's late morning. Like, there's no reason I should still have this on, but Hei Hei attacked me in this onesie yesterday, even though it wasn't my leopard onesie. We'll see how it goes this morning. Also, we have a massive mole invasion happening. Can you see the unevenness of the grass? Look at these trails. There's like a big, a big mass over here. You can see like that's a mole hill. They are moving in. Okay, let's see how this goes this morning. Come on, all. Out, out, out. Do not attack me. I just let you have your freedom. And poor Gwynny is never smart enough to figure out how to come through the coop. Great, he's following me. I have my eye on you, sir. Why? Come on, Vinny. Good girl. Okay, go away now. Go away now. Where's the stick? Oh, there's a bigger stick. There's a bigger stick. Ah! Get. Go. Get. Stay away from it. Yeah, you stay away. You stay away. You stay away. Hi, you guys. It's Kayla. It has now been 3 days since my market. It's Tuesday. The market was on Saturday, and I'm going to try to speed film this because I am losing daylight a little bit. So I'm hoping it doesn't get dark on me. Also, I cannot find, for the life of me, my pink notebook that I wrote down all my sales and totals in. So I am basically doing this recap from memory. I did take some pictures, and this is going to be a little bit different in my setup of how I'm going to recap the market. I'm basically going to go through the order of how my table was set up, and then I took pictures of each section before the market started, and then I'm going to show you, after I talk about each section, kind of a before and after of what was there and what sold. And I'm kind of excited about this. And I have my computer right here to look at the pictures of what sold. So if you see me looking to the side, I'm not looking at my notebook, which is lost, but I am looking at my my computer screen over here. I will say that I do remember my total. So I did add everything up, and I remember my total. I don't remember the total number of items sold, but I do remember the cash total of what I made. So we've got that going for me. Okay, so we were in the foyer of a middle school. It was the same spot that I got last year, which was awesome. It's just this long, like 12-foot long rectangle. It's not the traditional 10 by 10 space because of where I'm located. And I love where we were set up because I could plug in my phone. We had an outlet right there. We had a little shelf behind us to put stuff, drinks and extra paperwork and whatever. We had like a little shelf behind us. It's like the perfect spot. Also, I really lucked out because even though there were multiple, I heard like 5 or 6 crochet booths at this market, I was the only all crochet booth in the middle school, and I was in the foyer. So if people came to the middle school first, I was the only all crochet booth that they hit, which was awesome. And I was one of the first booths you saw. So there's like the high school, and then you like walk outside and you go through the cafeteria. They had some different food vendors, like the popcorn vendor. They kept setting off the fire alarm. And then as you walk through there, then you came through the foyer that I was in, and then into the gymnasium in the middle school where you had lots of other booths. So I was in a great location. And as you walked through that hallway from the cafeteria into the foyer where I had facing those people that were funneling in that way, my big wagon of like all my big things. So like my big giraffe from Meg Crochet 2023, my African wild dog, my big mushroom guy from Mevsan, the queen that I made, and the bunny from Puny Human Crafts. I had all of those bigger items. They were all $35 or higher in my wagon, and my giraffe especially was like my drawing in piece. So it's my most expensive item in my booth. It's $80. And it really just got a ton of attention as people walked in. So that was kind of like my, here, come in and see me type item. But the only big item that sold, I mentioned during the video, was my Puny Human Crafts bunny. I sold that for $35 to a little boy. He was like, had a pacifier in his mouth and a beanie on, and he just latched on to this bunny. It was the sweetest thing. So I loved that went to him. And that was probably my highest ticketed item that was sold for the day. So as you then came around, I had my Christmas things and my Bowl Buddies set out. This was the first market that I did the Bowl Buddies. I think I mentioned this before. I got the idea from Kylie Creates, Kyra, over at Kylie Creates. She did this at her market and said it was a hit. And I think, from what I can remember without looking at my book, my Bowl Buddies were actually my bestseller of the day. This is the only one I had left over. I had 6 of them out. I had, I think I had 4 turtles and 2 axolotls in bowls. I had an extra turtle and an axolotl, but I did not have a bowl because I can only find these at Dollar Tree and not every Dollar Tree. So I bought 6. I should have bought more at the Dollar Tree that I went to. And 5 of the 6 sold. 3 turtles and both the axolotls sold. This is Tilly the Tiny Turtle pattern from Crochet with Luna, and the mini axolotls are from Scarlet Garden Crochet, Beth. Both of them were well loved. So I definitely like the fact that you could get them in the bowl was like a massive selling point for people. So again, the bowls were $175 at Dollar General. I think this was also like $175 for a bag of pellets that I split over 6 bowls. So I sold these for $12 a piece. And yeah, they went like hotcakes. I only had this one left at the end. So I'm definitely going to be making more Bowl Buddies. I also had a little sign. I made a bunch of signs on Canva that I ended up printing in color and laminating. I wish I had those to show you. Maybe I'll sneak in William's room and try to grab those. Hold on. Actually, you guys, I'm not going to risk waking up William. So I think I filmed a little clip of these maybe before. So if I can find that clip, I will insert it. I cannot tell you the excitement I feel about how these turned out with my laminator. I'm so pumped.
Hey, Lucy.
I did an adopt a turtle, or adopt a bowl buddy, a buddy in a bowl, adopt a kitty, adopt a possum, and then I made one for my Pokemon. Anyway, those signs were really fun to add to my booth. And anyway, people loved that you could adopt a buddy in a bowl. So I highly, highly, highly suggest doing that. It doesn't take a lot of time, a lot more time in it, but it really just like sells it for people. So another thing that sold right in that area, I had a shark that I made from Southern Gals Crochet. It was gray and white. I have since remade this pattern because I love this pattern. I remade it with a new yarn that I got from Bernat Ocean something. I don't remember the name of the pattern, but it's like this blue variegated speckly, really cool yarn. But the one I sold was just gray and white, and I sold that for $30. But I love this pattern. I highly recommend, if you're looking for a fun shark pattern, you do sew on all the fins and tail, and then the body is in one piece. But I just really love how this turns out. So yes, I sold a shark for $30. Oh, I forgot to put my bull buddy up here. Here he is. Okay, and then in front of that, I had all my Christmas things. Trees, snowmen, reindeer, Grinches, all of that kind of cluttered in front of there. And I really do think that was one of the reasons they didn't sell very well. I'm thinking about doing a separate video. Let me know in the comments if you would like a video like tips for successful markets. And I really, one of my biggest tips if you're doing a market is not to clutter your space. Leave white space on your table or booth or whatever you're using as your setup, because I do think that people get overwhelmed when you just have a bunch of stuff crammed together in one space. I'll talk about that more in another video maybe, but all of my Christmas stuff was kind of just cluttered together. And I think that was the reason I didn't get that many sales on it till later on in the day. So I did end up selling a Christmas tree with the feet. This was a free crochet pattern from Crochet Calls, I think is her name. She has a free tutorial on YouTube. It kind of looks like this, but it has feet. It has the like jelly cat feet. So it doesn't look exactly like this, but somewhat similar. That for $18. And that was the only item in my like little radio flyer wagon that I had that sold. But that's okay because I'm going to be bringing the rest, any Christmas themed thing that I don't sell in my next market, I'm taking to the bookstore. So I'm not too worried about having a bunch of leftover seasonal things. But in front of that, I had my little basket of minis. So I had my mini Grinches, I had my mini reindeer, I can't even remember the name of my own pattern, my little reindeer dumplings. And then I had the penguins from Chanel's Crochet. I had all these in a basket. I had 9 of them in there. And I only ended up selling one Grinch, although tons of people picked up the Grinches and commented and said, oh, it's the little baby Grinch. A lot of people said that, but I only ended up selling one of these by the end of the market. And I ended up selling 2 of my reindeer dumplings. I had these for $10 since they're relatively small and don't have any color changes or sewing. So I priced these at 10. I priced these at 12 just because there is quite a bit of color change work in here and you have to make these and attach them separately. And then I priced these Chanel's Crochet's Christmas penguins. I had these at 13 because they do take me a little bit more time to do. I ended up selling 2 of these, one with a red hat and one with a teal hat. And then I sold another penguin too. I had a couple Hakia's art. This is another free Instagram pattern. I had a teal one and I think a navy blue one. Oh, I sold 2 of those too. I sold my navy one and my teal one. So I ended up selling 4 penguins. So they were a top seller for me. Penguins were a top seller. I sold 2 of these and 2 of these. Chanel's _ crochet and Hakia's art. There's an underscore in there too. Sold 4 penguins total. So that was a bestseller for me as well. Not as many as the bull buddies, but still. 4 penguins sold. Oh, I guess I should put my other stuff up here too. By the way, these are both free patterns on my Instagram page. I released this one Sunday and this one yesterday. So if you want either of these patterns, they are free on my page. Merry Christmas to you guys. So yeah, the only other Christmas item I had out was my sweet little Christmas Barra. This is from Avery Crochets. I am so behind. I'm doing a free pattern giveaway, not giveaway, 5 days of free patterns, Merry Stitchmas, with myself, Avery Crochets, Scarlet Garden Crochet, Crochet Moose, and Who's Your Granny Creations. Is it Creations or Crochet? I have only made this one and my dumpling. I have 3 more patterns, free patterns to make and showcase. I need to get started on those. This got a ton of comments, but did not get picked up. I do think he will sell though by the end of the Christmas season. What? It looks like there's a line right here, but there's not. The sun's just shining weird. Anyway, I had him for $18. Okay, now let me show you the before and after of my stand. I did have 14 sales here, including a couple penguins not pictured. Okay, so moving on from my Bull Buddies and my Christmas things is my $10 items and my mystery boxes. And this is the first market that I did mystery boxes at. So this is what I ended up doing for that. I have these 4x4 shipping mailer boxes, whatever you want to call them, that I ordered a while ago, and I actually meant to order a bigger size up, but I'm so glad I had these because they were perfect for some of my smaller items. So I had 6 items in my inventory that I'd only made one of, that I didn't know where to pair them with anything else, and they were just random one-offs. And again, I'm trying to keep my table as do I want to say underwhelming? That's not the word I'm looking for. I'm trying to keep it like as not overstimulating as possible when you walk in. Like, it looks clean, it looks open, it doesn't look like I have 5,000 decisions to make. And so I didn't want any of these like random one-off items. So if I had anything like that, I ended up, smaller things, I ended up sticking them in these 4x4 boxes. And then I created this at like 11 o'clock on Friday night. I went into Canva and I opened up a label, like a pre-printed label, 4x6 label. That was like the template I selected. And then I just got a bunch of question mark and kind of doodle graphics. There's a bubble. On there. And then I just printed that document onto my 4x6 shipping labels with my thermal printer. And then I just stuck them to the front here, and I put them in a nice little stack of 6, and I labeled them mystery boxes for $13. And this is the first time I've done mystery boxes, and I ended up selling half of them. So I sold 3 out of 6 for $13 a piece, mystery boxes. I had like a little elephant, a leggy frog. This one is a, what is this? Let's see what's in my mystery box here. Oh, a sheep. Oh, inside I wrote, you got a, and then I wrote, you know, like this one, snowball sheep. So I guess I could have had him out in my farm area, but I didn't. I just stuck him in a box. So, I had those kind of size, like small items that I sold in here. So those did fairly well. And then right in front of that, I had my basket of $10 items, and I put in it, oh, I forgot. I always forget to put these up here. Okay, so in my $10 bin, I had 2 bumblebees, 2 crabs, and 2 mice. Actually, I started out with a mouse and an opossum. And I ended up selling 1 bumblebee for 10. This is just a free-handed pattern that I did. It looks like a little tennis ball. And then this is also a free pattern by me on my page. It's the market mouse. So I believe I ended up selling, and again, I'm trying to recall this from memory, and I only had 2 of these out there at a time. I'm pretty sure I sold 3 mice, well, a mini possum, a mouse this color, and a gray mouse, I believe. So those did fairly well. It's funny because I don't usually sell mice like ever at my markets, and a lot of people picked them up and were interested this time. You can never predict what's going to sell. But anyway, so that $10 bin did all right. I ended up selling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that for $10 from that bin. So here is my before and after picture of that part of the stand. I had 7 sales here, including a gray unpictured mouse. Okay, this next part was the best-selling area of my stand by far. I ended up getting basically wiped out of this entire box, and it was, or box crate. It was my farm animal section. So again, this is one where I had some one-off items, but they were all farm animals. So I grouped them together in this part of my stand, and it ended up doing phenomenally, better than any other portion. Okay, so in the front, I had this little basket of my Kite Snook mini chick snugglers. So I had 3 chicken ones, and then I made one that was a mallard mod of the Kite Snook. It's the Kite Snook Henny Penny Chicken Snuggler. That's the name of the pattern. It is like $3 or something, ridiculously cheap on Etsy. And I had a little basket of them, and all but this guy sold. So I sold 2, like one in almond, one in like the light gray and white frosting color from Bernat, and then the mallard mod. Each of those for $22 a piece. People love them. And I had multiple people comment that the Mabel chickens, which I also had in that section. So I had one lady say, oh, I see these ones everywhere, but I never see these ones. And I think maybe people have seen the kind of like circular bobble stitch type animals so many times that maybe they're leaning towards something a little different. I'm guessing maybe that had to do with why these sold, because I also sold a lot of Oddball Crochet's farm bubs, which are also kind of a similar shape with non-bobble stitch appendages, and they also did really well. So I don't know, maybe think about that for your next markets. So I sold 3 of these for $22 a piece, and then I also sold all 3 of my Oddball Crochet farm bubs. So if you don't know her, I'm holding up this Grinch because this is also one of Oddball Crochet's bubs patterns. This is in her Christmas bubs patterns pack. But and all the bubs, you make the legs and the arms, and then you crochet them into the body. And most of them you crochet on the head, or you sew on the head. This one you don't. But so I had a horse, a pig, and a cow. I will put a picture of them right here. I priced the pig at $22, the cow at $25, and the horse at $28, just depending on the amount of color changes or surface crocheting that I had to do in the pattern. And I sold all 3 of them. People really liked their shape and size. I think it is a higher price point item because it takes longer to make, but it didn't seem to be too high of a price point that people didn't want to buy them. So I need to make some more bubs. I also sold a chonky cow from Chanel's _ crochet, and a big chunky pig that I've had with me since my very first market a year and a half ago. It was the Muddy Pig pattern by Passionate Crafter. It's also a free pattern. I sold both of those. I had them priced at, I think, $22 and $25 a piece. And I also sold my little mini $13 pig. It's my own pattern that I have not published yet. I also sold that. So my whole like crate was totally wiped out by the end of it. And then I had my little Mabel chickens on top of that I sell for $12 a piece, and I sold 4 of those. So surprisingly, Mabel chickens were not my top seller, but I did end up selling a white one, like a variegated gray. I sold my psychedelic chicken in the neon colors, and I can't remember the last one, but I believe it was 4 total Mabel chickens. So that part of my stand, and another one that I've had for a long time that sold, it was my favorite sale of the day. So I can't believe I almost forgot to talk about this. I had a bunny. I think it's the Springtime Bunny by Huggable _ Handiworks. Avis, my friend in Colorado, my little friend in Colorado. I pattern tested this for her a while ago, and I labeled it as Farmer Bunny because it has this little golden colored, it looks like a straw hat to me. And I had this grandma come through, you guys. She was like a grandma. Like, I'm talking, I think in her 80s. She had the perfect grandma poof, like the puffy white hair. She was wearing a Christmas sweater with like some, it looked like quilted, like a quilted stitched on Santa or something Christmassy on her sweater. And she was just pushing in her little walker, and she was the happiest woman. You guys, she was shopping with her daughter who looked to be in her 60s. And she was like, Mom, you just get whatever you want. And she was so sweet. She's like, oh my goodness, I just love this so much. She was shopping for herself. This was not for like a great grandchild. This was for her because she loved it so much. Oh, I loved her. She was like, oh, this is just calling to me. Esther, you need me. I loved her, you guys. She ended up coming back twice. So the first time she came, she bought my hot pink jellyfish. So I'll show that later. And then she came back and bought the Farmer Bunny. I believe I had the Farmer Bunny at 30. So that one sold. I've had her for a while. I was so glad it went to Esther. Esther, you're never going to see this, but you just made my whole day when you were shopping at my booth. Anyway, here is the radically different before and after picture for my farm animals. Basically, everything was gone from this section, barring like 7 Mabel chickens. I think I had 14 sales total. Okay, guys, so right next, everything I've talked about so far was on that first long horizontal table that people first saw as they were walking in from the cafeteria. And then between my two, again, my space was just this 12-foot long horizontal line. So in between my 2 tables, I had my 6-tiered shelf with all my sports things on it that did so well last year. It was like a bust this year. I sold 0 Andy Reeds, you guys. I sold 3 of those in 30 minutes last year. So I was like making them before. I made 5 of them and I was like, oh, I should probably make more, but I don't want to make them. I sold none. But it's okay because I've already sold a couple of these like as custom orders. One to my friend Katie, one to my aunt, maybe another to my other aunt, and I'm bringing them to my next market. And then if they don't sell there, to the bookshop. So I do think these will end up selling, but they just didn't sell at this market. So I had these priced at $40. None of them sold. My Patchicks, I sell these for $20 a piece. I sold 1 out of 6. 1 out of 6 sold. So I don't know. I don't know what was going on. People, maybe it's because the Chiefs aren't doing so hot this year. We're used to being like dominating the division for the last 10 years or something ridiculous like that. And now we're not doing so well. So maybe that's why they weren't selling as well. But none of my sports things. I sold 1 Jayhawk. By the way, I sold this for 20, 15, 40. Did I already say that? Sold one of these for 15. I sold 2 of my Jersey kitties. I will say the 2 that I sold had the embroider eye, not the safety eyes. Although the Jayhawk that I sold did have the safety eyes. And then when you get to the bottom of the shelf, this is always hard because I never know what to put at the bottom because it's almost like, well, I don't care if you don't sell. I feel like that's what it's like when you put things on the bottom shelf. Maybe I'm going to start using that really big bottom shelf for like clearance items because people will bend over for clearance items and maybe that will draw people's eyes down to the bottom. But I didn't sell that much off the bottom of my shelf, which I'm not surprised about. I don't think I sold a single turtle, which was on the 6th shelf near the bottom. I sold 1 booty frog that was this color and 1 popping mushroom that was in a lighter teal even than this. I sell these for 15 and these for 17. And that was all that sold off that big shelf. So that was very different from last year. Here's the before and after of that one. My sad 6 sales from the 6-tiered shelf. Wow, that was a lot of S's. Right after, by the way, I also will say, most of my sales were made behind the table that I was standing behind the whole time. I felt like the other end of my table, I neglected moving over there and there was a lot less sales from that side. So even though I do love how my booth set up is through that hallway, it's hard to like be a physical presence of a seller along that whole 12-foot space. So I don't know if that could have contributed to not as many people over there because I wasn't interacting over there as much as with the people that were coming in to the first half of my booth. So anyway, maybe that played into it, maybe it didn't. But right next to my 6-tiered shelf, I moved on to my other 6-foot long table. And there I had 2 crates stacked on top of each other that were my adoption crates. So I had an adopt a kitten crate and then an adopt a possum crate. Last year, I sold out all 4 of the possums I brought at this market. This year, I sold 1 possum. A ton of people thought it was hilarious that I had an adopt an opossum station, which is what I was going for. They thought it was really funny, but only 1 person ended up buying a possum. Nobody bought Christmas possum, but maybe he'll sell at my December 4th market or maybe at the bookstore. But I had these for 18 a piece and only sold 1. My Charlie kittens, however, were more adopted. So I think I ended up selling, they were one of my best sellers of the day. I ended up selling 4 of the Charlie kittens. So this is the free pattern from, I always want to call her Delon, but that's not her. It's Lauren.crochet or crochets. It's a free pattern on Instagram. This is like a comfort make for me right now. I ended up selling 4 of these, a calico cat, a Siamese cat, the one you saw me making on my way to the market, that kind of, I think it's Driftwood Dreams is the name. I sold 1 in those, and then I sold an orange tabby. So the grays and blacks did not sell as well as the ones that were like lighter or had brown or warmer tone colors. Don't know if that was just random or not. People loved that you could have the adoption certificate. Again, this is my first time making those certificates. I will insert a clip here if I can find it of Rosie and I making those. So here is how this turned out. I'm going to print like, I think 20 of these. I'm so pumped. Guys, we are gonna see how this goes. Yes. How satisfying is this, Rosie? I printed them off like I did for the mystery boxes. I printed off the certificates on 4x6 labels. I got this idea from a commenter on Instagram. If I find that comment, I will put your name down here. That was a great idea, and people loved the adoption certificates. So I would definitely say take the time to either purchase one of those or make one on Canva and print them off for people, because it like really heightens their experience shopping. Here is the before and after of my adopt a kitten and possum station. 4 Charlie cats, including Invisible Calico Cat who'd already sold, and 1 possum. Okay, next you guys, I had my kind of character area. So I had all of my Teeny Mon and a couple Chunky Mon from Hooked Crochet Cuties. I've had a lot of questions about my Pokemon, or Teeny Mon. They are Hooked Crochet Cuties patterns. She has multiple different packs. She just came out with a bunch of new ones. Go check out her page because her patterns are awesome. They look so close to what they're supposed to look like. So out of those, I sold, yeah, I'm just going to say the names because I don't remember the pattern names. A Squirtle, a Charmander, an Eevee, that's a Naughty Nat pattern, and a Cubone. The Cubone was actually my first sale of the day. I sold that one and the Squirtle for $18 and the Charmander for $15. The Eevee I sold for $18 because that was a lot more detail work in there. So I sold all those. By the way, the ones that had the embroidered eyes are the ones that sold, not the safety-eyed ones. And then also underneath my Teeny Mon and Chonky Mon patterns, I had like some character patterns. I had like a Pooh, a Yoda, a Shrek, and a Minion. And I ended up selling the Minion for $13 and the Pooh for $15. The Minion's a free pattern, and the Pooh is a mod for my Sweater Teddy pattern. In front of that, I had my geckos. I didn't sell any geckos, you guys. It was so sad. They are on the higher end. They were $20. Unlike a lot of my stuff is like $15. So it is a little bit higher priced item in my stand. No one bit, but I know there's somebody who's going to want a gecko out there. Here is the before and after of my character station. Here are the 6 characters that sold, including Invisible Cubone, my first sale of the day. Okay, and lastly, you guys, was the end of my table, which was so neglected. It was so neglected, you guys. And this was an area that sold tons for me last year. So I had a baby safe sign on it last year. I had my axolotls and jellyfish on there, and so I did the exact same thing this year. I sold 2 jellyfish out of... Uh-oh, William's waking up. Okay, William is awake and happy for the time being, so I'm going to try to hurry here. So I only sold 2 of my jellyfish for $18 a piece. The one to Esther, my favorite customer, that was hot pink and pink with the neon variegated tentacles. And then I sold one with my Sailor's Delight tentacles and the Misty Jungle green top. So I sold both of those for $18 a piece. I sold no big axolotls that I had marked for $20 a piece. I did sell my Snoozing Goose mallard mod. That was one of my first sales of the day for $30. So I was excited about that. And that was it. That was the only things that sold over on that end of the table, which I was barely at. I mean, I would talk to the customers kind of as they came through at the front of my table, and then it was kind of like I was talking to them. Also, it was weird to try to talk through my 6-tiered shelf and my stacked crates for my adoption. Like, I would have to like try to peek over the top. Anyway, so I'm not sure how much that contributed to it, but people weren't buying the jellyfish like they usually were. So we'll just see how it does. It's so hit and miss. You never know what is going to sell well and what is not from one market to the next, even if it's the same market from one year to the next. Okay, so here's my before and after picture for that section of the booth. Here are the 3 sold items from my baby safe section. Okay, you guys, kids are ready to eat. I'm losing sunlight. Let me give you grand totals. So my goal was $1,000 for this market, and my grand total was $936. So I was just short of my goal, but I am so pleased with that number. I did talk to a vendor that I've kind of become friends with, that I vented with at my other really big market in the spring. She said their sales were way down from previous years. I was probably over $200 in sales down from previous years. There seem to be a lot of those kind of people that come to the stand and love everything and pick up and say, how cute, and then just like turn around and walk away. There were a lot of window shoppers and not as many buyers as last year, but I don't know. I should have talked to more vendors that were there last year to see how they did in comparison. So sales were down, but I still made over $900. I would say that's a very successful market for me. I have one more market before this year ends on the 4th, so it is a lot smaller than this. Anyway, I'm doing a little event at a coffee shop, but I still think it will be successful because there won't be any other crochet vendors there. What else? Sorry, I'm trying to wrap this up quickly. I sold 56 items, I think, from the X's I counted. And it went well. Let me know below if you want me to do like tips on vending at markets, a video like that. I have another video coming up, market prepping, some custom orders that I need to get done. And I don't know what other end of the year videos will be coming, but I hope you enjoyed this and stuck with me. I have no idea how long this is going to be because I've been starting and stopping for my picture inserts. But thank you for hanging out with me. Always thank you so much for supporting me and coming to watch my videos. Please like, subscribe, comment. I love interacting with you guys. If you made it through this whole video, why don't we leave a little turtle in the comments below, since my turtles and bowls were my top seller of the day. Well, my farm animals did really well. Leave a farm animal or a turtle in the comments. Okay. And let me know what your favorite thing was, or if you want any more information on any of the patterns mentioned, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.